Here's one thing that I just don't seem to get, and I think it's just me. Everybody's into genetic testing. Oh my God. Everybody has to know where their roots were. Where are my roots? Where did I come from? Well, you know where you came from. The question is, how far back in history do you want to go to find out what your roots are? And what possible difference does it make whatsoever? Now, unless you're prone to some type of a cancer or some type of a disease, that would be from the immediate to grandparent family. Beyond that, does anybody really need to know what their ancestry is? Come on! I did that spit test not long ago. I'm still waiting for the results. I spit into a little piece of plastic vial. I filled up this vial with my vial saliva. Isn't it amazing how you can always conjure up saliva no matter what the situation? I remember going for blood tests, and they said, here's a plastic cup. Would you pee in the cup, please? And I said, well, I'll do the best I can. And I usually could fill the sucker up and then some. But with saliva, that's an endless supply. That doesn't stop. Too bad there's not a saliva bank. I could make a fortune. Here's 23 gallons of saliva that I just spit up this morning. Fine, here's $200. Thank you. I'm being supported by my own saliva. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But there isn't any, because nobody really needs saliva. Quick, get him to the opera. He's out of saliva. I don't understand that. How do you get out of saliva? It's too bad you can't run cars and things on saliva, because endless supply. Forget this oil and coal thing. Runs on saliva. Anyway, so I spit into the saliva cup, and then I seal it up, and I send it out through the U.S. mail. At any given time throughout the country, saliva is being swapped from place to place. It's disgusting. Anyway, I know people that have gone through this, and it's like they found Jesus or something. Did you know that I am 10% Lithuanian? No. And so, what's your point? What? So what? Do you know everybody is at least 5% Irish? Irish people, I think, just fornicated all throughout the globe at a point, and just everybody's Irish. Even Chinese people have a small bit of Irish in them. Yeah, I know, it's weird. Everybody's a little bit Italian. How far back do you have to go to find that out? My great uncle's grandfather's niece's sister's great niece aunt, fifth removed 23rd cousin of a sister's mother's brother's sister's godfather, is apparently Spanish. Whoa, I'm Spanish. No, you're not Spanish. That's stupid. How far back do you have to go? Do you know I'm related somehow to a man named Bob who was a Greek Orthodox minister back at the turn of the century, back in 3 BC? Really? Are you going to hook up? It's a stupid thing. Well, that stupid thing that you just said. There are actually travel companies that are now basing travel things to homes of ancestry for people that went through this ancestry thing. For example, you spit in a cup and you find out you're like 2% Hawaiian. I don't know. So, I gotta go to Hawaii. I gotta meet up with. It's stupid. You're 3% Bulgarian. Well, there's a Bulgarian cruise. Let's go back to our homeland. Your homeland? You're 3% Bulgarian. That's your homeland? What are you talking about? You're going to walk into Bulgaria off the plane and say, "I'm home, everybody. It's me. It's John. My 5% has come home. These are my people." They're not your people. You don't know who the hell they are. It's my home. It's my homeland. I'm part Bulgarian. I knew it, and I knew it too. How did you know it? I don't know, but I knew it somehow. I knew. I'm part Belgian. You're also part, yes, 20% Belgian. I'm going there next to my second homeland. I knew I was Belgian. How did you know that? I love waffles. I love Belgian thick waffles. And I knew it somehow. There was a connection between my passion for waffles and Belgium. And here it's proven through my saliva that I'm home. I'm home, everybody. I'm home, Mary. I'm home. Finally, I'm home again. Oh, my God. What's with you? What is this ancestry thing? Come on, man. Yeah, it's a big world, and a lot of stuff happened, and you're probably somewhere down the line connected to everything. You don't see people walking around going, I found out I'm 10% German, and Hitler was my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Oh, what do I do with that information? Do you still think the same? No, I don't think the same way as my great-great-great-great-grandfather. No, I'm just saying. I'm connected. Come here. I wouldn't tell people that. That's not a good connection. I would drop that connection. Oh, man. People are nuts. People are so desperate to find their connections, both through the ancestry thing and also even online with your social network crap. I'm desperate to make connections. I'm desperate for people to know that I exist. I'm desperate. I will even send them pictures of my dinner last night, and perhaps my penis as well. I need to make connections all the time. I need to have over 1,000 Facebook friends. I don't know who they are, or what their background is, or if they've even spit into a cup. But I need to have people listen to me and hear me out. Hear you out? You're not saying anything. Yes, but I'm 3%. 3% Swiss. Oh, God. Come on. Oh, I knew I was Swiss. I love their cheese. I couldn't figure out why. And then I'd have a piece of chocolate after I had the cheese. I'm Swiss. I swear I know it. I am Swiss. Now, I have an accent that I never had before. It's crazy, man. What difference does it make? What difference? I feel whole now. Now you feel whole? Now you are an asshole, because now you're weird. You were normal to me before. Now you're acting weird. So desperate to make a connection. So lonely are you that you need to make this connection of your homeland. Yes, my great uncle, his grandfather was British. So now I'm talking like this, and I'm going back to my homeland. Oh, my God. Do you realize how strange you sound? I'm filling up my entire apartment with British paraphernalia. Would you like to have a fish or a chip or a fish and chip? Oh, come on, man. You're not... Man. Did I start the show yet? I can't remember. I don't think I did. All right.
On the air everywhere, this is New England Broadcasting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
I'm Moldavian. I am 10% Moldavian. I don't even know where that is. Is that near Ohio? How you doing? Well, I've talked about myself now for about 10 minutes. Now you tell me about you. Seriously? Yeah, you're right. I'll do the talking. had to put air in my tires yesterday. One of my tires was getting low. And as I was putting air in the tires, I said to myself, the hell am I doing? I'm putting air in my tires? Why would I do that? That's not something I should be doing. When I was growing up, like in 1827, they had gas station service attendants. They dressed up in little uniforms, and they ran out and they checked my oil. They checked the air and tire pressure. They even cleaned my windshield. And, yeah. Oh, kids, did you miss out? Did you miss out, you millennial little do-it-yourselfers? Did you miss out on a nice free ride? You've probably seen the films. The gas station attendants actually wore bow ties. You got to dress up when you service a car. There's no question about it. Well, are you going to a cocktail party tonight, Robert? No, I'm a gas station attendant, and I'll be filling up tires and checking oil in a very formal manner. Wow, that's cool. You have a nice job. Yes, that's I do. I have to wear a bow tie, but I... Well, recently D-Day was celebrated, D-Day. Normandy especially, where multitudes of thousands of soldiers lost their lives parachuting over the beach of Normandy and being shot down in the process. If it wasn't for these guys who risked their lives, this world would not be have freedom in it. We'd all be under dictatorships, much to Donald Trump's dismay. I know that sounded harsh, but I really think he wants to be the king of the world. You can see it. I mean, there's no arguing that. Is anybody going to argue that point with me? He wants to be king of the world. I guess he saw the Titanic movie and wanted to stand on the bow of the ship and claim that he was the king of the world. That's what he loves to do. You can see him. He actually gets an erection when he talks about that. The president of China will be the president until the day he dies, and you could see Donald just like, whoa, he lit up. He said, that's a cool idea. I don't wish harm upon the president. I hope he feels well. It's just like, that's not the job for you, sir. You really need to be put on a bow tie and clean my windshield really is where you belong. He's a despicable human being. He's a child in a schoolyard that never grew up, and every time he opens his mouth, I cringe. I feel a little throw up in my throat. I really do. I can't help it. He's just a despicable human being. And he calls anybody who criticizes him, he calls that person a despicable. Anytime Trump says anything about somebody else in a demeaning fashion, you can so easily just turn it around on him and say, I'm demeaning. Look at what you just said. I'm an idiot. Look what an idiot you are. I'm a lowlife. Look what a lowlife you are. I mean, everything can be turned on this guy. This phrase, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, something like that. I don't know the exact phrase. I'm not into phrases. But that's him. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, stupid man. You stupid man. Country's being run by a stupid man. I'm not going to get into it. Here's the crime. It's not the stupid man that I'm upset with. It's the stupid people that go along with the stupid man. And it has nothing to do with policies. It has to do with somebody representing you who is a stupid man, who really resembles the lining of a douchebag. I'm sorry. It's true. That's what I'm upset about. Who's representing me? That's what I'm upset about. Not policy-wise necessarily, but personality-wise. And one of the reasons that I'm quite upset about it is the fact that had Trump not been president, the man he'd definitely be behind bars. There's no question about it. Had you done half the stuff that this guy does on a regular basis, you'd be in jail too. Sending threatening letters to college institute. Don't release my grades to anybody, otherwise there's going to be trouble. Wow. What are you hiding, bozo? What's under all that makeup, clown boy? I'm sorry, that sounds demeaning. But he opened the door. He opened the floodgates. This is the way we can talk now. We can demean people. We can call them idiots. We can do that publicly. The door has been opened with social media, Twitter, presidency. Floodgates are open. Let it all out. High road? There ain't no high road. The high road was washed away by the low road. Ain't no high road anymore. You got to get something back to get the high road. You need infrastructure to get to the high road again. There's no high road. There's no high road. We're all playing in the mud now. All of us. With no washing machine to wash our clothes. These analogies are driving me nuts. What bothers me most, this is a medicine man kind of snake oil kind of deal. It's the people that, how many people I run into, and they say, Ron, you do radio stuff. You're up on all this stuff. I say, yeah, okay, what? Say, well, what's going on with Trump? Anything interesting with Trump? What? Anything interesting with Trump? Don't you follow what's going on? No, I don't. I don't follow that stuff. You don't. That's what he's banking on. He's banking on the fact that you don't follow that stuff. If you followed that stuff, you'd see what's going on. Don't ask me what's going on. Well, I don't follow that stuff. You live in the country, don't you? You have a job, you make money, you want to be comfortable. You want to be proud of the place you live in, and you don't know what's going on? That's what makes me mad. That's what upsets me. That's how he got into office. He made promises. You didn't check up on it. You didn't check up on him, and you don't know what's going on. Don't ask me what's going on. I'm not the president. I'm a talk show host. Yeah, I know. I know. You have no idea. You have no clue, do you? That's what bothers me, clueless people. When you're clueless and you don't know what's going on, they can play the shell game on you. They can scam you. They can fool you. They can smoke and mirror you because you don't know what's going on. If you knew what was going on, you wouldn't be able to be fooled like this. It's crazy, man.
Ron Van Dam is different than most podcast hosts. He really understands his audience.
They like to be smacked and whipped.
Well, I think we're going to get along just fine. You're listening to The Ron Van Dam Show.
Well, I guess you were. Hey, man, oh man, you're cold as ice. You really are.
You're as cold as ice.
Okay, just making a point, that's all. Just trying to make a point. We're so honest in our songs, aren't we? We don't act like that with people in the streets. Hey, excuse me. Yes, can I help you? Yeah, you're as cold as ice. What? Why would you say that to me? I don't know. They say it in songs. I think I can say it to you. Get away with a lot of stuff in songs. You don't walk up to somebody and say, I hate your guts, you low-life piece of scum. But in a song, I hate your guts, you low-life piece of scum. You know, like it's a country western song. You get away with it there. Wait a minute, did he just call me a low-life piece of scum? They sang it to you, so yeah. Our guest joins us. I know. Don't even say it. Don't even say it. I know. Our guest joins us right after this important word.
Hi, this is Bob Robinson from Bob's Handy Around the House. I'm a local handyman. I've been in business for the last 50 years on my own, doing light repair work in our area. Whatever you need done, carpentry, painting, floors, tiling, yard work, I can do it all for you. I'll come to your home and do the work for a very reasonable fee. Naked. I should probably mention that I will be naked while I do this work. Buck naked, not a stitch on me, waving in the wind, in my birthday suit, showing what God gave me, naked as a jaybird. I'll be naked the whole time. I show up naked, I do the work naked, you pay me while I'm naked. Bob's Handy Around the House, Bob Robinson. You can look me up on Facebook, where I am naked.
Dr. Robert Nussbaum joins us now. He's Chief Medical Officer at Invitae, and we're talking about genetic testing, which is a big thing these days. All of a sudden, that's available everywhere, but there are different types of genetic testing, aren't there?
Yes, there are, and the distinction between the direct-to-consumer, what I consider to be recreational tests, and the serious medical or clinical testing that Invitae performs is quite important. And there are three major differences that I'd like to just review with you. The first is that the tests that Invitae does are tests that are useful and can be used, can be relied upon for making serious medical decisions. They are the sorts of tests that doctors and genetic counselors have ordered for years and have trusted in and have used to make important decisions about how to care for their patients. The recreational tests quite clearly state that they're not to be used for any kind of medical decision making, and anything you find there or you don't find there, you should go and confirm with a real test. The second is comprehensiveness. What we do is for example, if we want to proofread a chapter of a book, we will look at every line, every word, every letter, looking for a misspelling in the genetic code. Whereas what the recreational tests do is they may pick 3 words and just ask, are those 3 words misspelled? But they're not looking at any of the other content of that chapter, and they're missing the vast majority of all medically significant changes that a person would need to know about if they were to really assess their risk. Then the third big difference is we do not try to bypass or go around the medical community. We do want people to be able to access genetic information easily by going online and being able to initiate the ordering for a test. But then that triggers a whole system we have in place for partnering those people with medical professionals who make sure they're ordering the right test. And then if that test comes back with a serious result, we will partner people with trained genetic professionals, genetic counselors, who can all the way to giving a very formal, correct tele-counseling session with a genetic counselor to help them understand what the result means and what they should do about it. So we don't leave people hanging with a potentially serious or anxiety-provoking result. We give them the kind of support they need to handle this information.
Okay.
Those are 3 big differences.
Now I'm a little confused. So if you do the direct-to-consumer genetic test, do they usually include medical results as well, or do you have to ask for that, or is that simply a where did I come from, what country did I come from kind of thing? In other words, is too much information given on the consumer genetic test?
Well, as I understand it, and this is not something that
I don't know either.
Engage in, but for at least some of the direct-to-consumer, you can choose to have medically relevant information done. You don't have to have.
Okay, and that's.
I think there are others who don't offer it at all.
Okay, all right, but there are those consumers that need to know medically what their history is. I'll tell you very quickly that my mother never told me her age, never discussed any kind of medical things about any people in the family, because you didn't do that in that generation. Right. And I literally have no idea what medical history I have in my family.
Right.
So this does become quite important, and really the only way for many people to find out what is made up in them.
You've made a really, really important point. A lot of the genetic testing in the past was based on the idea that you would take a complete family history,
Correct.
and only if there was a strong family history would one then be able to get testing.
Right.
And some of the insurance companies still have that built into their guidelines to what genetic testing they will reimburse. The problem is that families are getting smaller. Families don't necessarily communicate with
Correct.
each other. One of the parent may no longer be in the picture, and I have had many patients. I've been a practicing geneticist for 40 years.
Yes.
I've had many patients say, I don't know much about what's going on my father's side of the
Right.
family, where I'm not in touch with them.
Right.
And then there are people who are adopted.
True.
So there's lots of reasons why people do not know their family history, and I think it's unfair and inappropriate to deprive them of the ability to know their genetic risks because they don't have a family history to be able to look at.
Well, in some situations, I assume it could be a question of life and death as to how you're treated or if you're treated.
Absolutely. I mean, there are situations where we can find a significant increase. We're
Right.
talking about 6 or 7 times increase over the general population risks for life-threatening conditions, and you just don't know it unless you obtain the test. But if you do, and this is an important point here, is that the tests that we offer, these sort of screening tests that we offer, are all ones where there's something you can do about it. There are interventions. There are medical things you can do to reduce your risk.
Right. I mean, if I had a history of liver cancer in my family, wouldn't I get my liver checked on a at least annual basis? Well, of course I would. Doesn't mean
You would.
Doesn't mean anything's going to happen, but my God, I'd certainly be just making sure that nothing will.
Yes, that's exactly right. So then you look at people who are carrying genetic changes
Right.
that give them a significant increased risk, but because for whatever reason, small family size or whatever, there's nothing in their family history
Right.
that triggers that.
Right. Okay. So to many people, this is important. So what did they do? How do they go about this? Perhaps they only thought that the only way to do that was to go through one of these consumer test situations, but you're telling me that this can be actually done in a medical situation.
It can be done in a medical situation. It can be done in a medically responsible way, but people can go and start this process themselves at invite.com.
Okay.
Go there, and you can look up, and depending on a brief questionnaire that you're asked to fill out, we will then connect you with the appropriate professional support to figure out what's the right test for you, and also to guide you and be with you through this process.
All right. So this is the professional way of doing it. Well,
I
will say that. I will say that.
I think it's the medically responsible way to do
Okay.
it.
Very, very
Right.
good. Okay. The DNA continues to be, in medical technology, continues to advance at a very rapid rate. Is that still the case?
Oh, yes, it is. We are learning more and more, and the more testing we do, the more we learn. So we are nowhere at a fully mature situation. We are constantly continuing to learn. I mean, for example, there are a few years ago, they may have said, oh, you have a family history of breast cancer. That means you must have a change in one of these 2 genes. We now know that there are dozens of genes that increase the risk for breast cancer. We're finding the contribution of genetics to a whole variety of conditions is only expanding. We're learning more and more about how genetic changes contribute to health and wellness.
Is the vehicle still spitting into a vial?
Yeah, that's a very simple way to get the DNA. You also get it out of blood samples, but saliva is a perfectly good way to get it in most situations.
It's, to me, the most invasive manner as well, which is cool.
Yeah, it's very simple. You can, and people can have a saliva kit sent out to their home. They don't have to go to see a phlebotomist. They can do it all themselves and send it in.
I like that. Okay, and this is available online.
Yep, vitae.com.
All right, let's spell that, please.
invitae.com. C-O-M.
Great. Doctor, thank you so much for your time, even though I could not physically verbalize what you do.
Pleasure talking. You asked great questions.
Yeah, great. Appreciate your time, and I'm sure this has been valuable to many people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. This has been fun. I can't remember the last time I had so much fun. That's because I have a bad memory. It probably wasn't that long ago. But I thank you for being here. Next time another weekday rolls around, which is going to be really soon, we'll do this again. Same time, same place. Well, not the same. You can do it any time you want. That's the nice thing about this stuff. But same place, that's for damn sure, huh? You have yourself a wonderful time. I wish you peace.